What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Across the Board, sponsored by MoneyBall Metrics. You have your two normal hosts, myself, Alpha Dog Bets, and JD from Line Movers. But today we have a very special guest. We have Matt from Dead Prez Picks. Matt, I don't think you need any introduction, so we'll just get to the how are yous. How are you doing today, my friend?
What's up, fellas? I'm great. How we doing? I'd be better if the Eagles held on for that game last night, but it is what it is.
You know, as a Giants fan, someone who was even betting the Eagles. I was in the Eagles -5.5, so I very much was looking forward to that 6-point win. They were going to get it done. But as a Giants fan, seeing Saquon drop the ball, seeing them lose the game, I wasn't too upset. I was a little upset because of the bet, but it didn't really break me up inside. I'm going to be honest. Quickly, before we get into MLB, what do you think of the Eagles this year? They look pretty good besides last night, but I still think they're poised for a pretty big season.
Yeah, I think they'll be okay. Defensively, I think there's still a million question marks, The secondary is bad. I don't think we have a great front. I don't think they've had an edge rusher with a sack in the last 8 games, so that's rough. But, yeah, I think offensively they'll be okay. No A.J. Brown last night. Still think they'll win the division, but I don't think they're good enough to win the Super Bowl, to be honest.
Yeah, fortunately, the NFC East looks like it's down yet again. I don't need to say how bad my Giants are. We all know that. They played the Commanders, who look just as bad in Dallas. I don't know what the hell happened to them. JD, over to you. How are you today?
Great, man. Actually, last night's game was still wild. It actually just seems like week 2 was just a crazy ass week. So.
Seemed like the opposite of week 1. Everything you learned from week 1, throw it out because week 2 showed you that it was nothing that you can hold on to. And that's the great thing about NFL. We still have a ton of weeks left, so there'll be more to come on NFL action. But fellas, we have a 5-game beautiful MLB slate. You ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
Let's get right into it, guys. First game we're covering on the slate is going to be the San Francisco Giants, who are going down to Baltimore and taking on the Orioles. Pitching for the Giants is Blake Snell. Weirdly, he's only 3-3 on the year with a 3.5 ERA, but as the year has gone on, he's gotten better and better. Pitching for the Orioles today is Albert Suarez. Suarez is coming in 8-5 with a 3.39 ERA. ESPN is predicting this one to go close. You know the ESPN Analytics BPI, they tell you who they think is going to win this game. They're calling this one about a 55-45 to the Orioles. The line is reflecting that the Giants are favored here. Matt, we'll start with you. What do you like in this game?
I like Baltimore tonight. Both teams struggling a little bit as of late. San Francisco really knocked themselves out of contention over the last couple of weeks. But I typically don't love fading Snell. This year, though, on the road, 4.46 ERA compared to 2.85 at home. So he struggled a little bit more on the road. His decent career numbers against the O's, they're batting 260 at-bats. But Suarez, to your point, he's actually been solid this year, 3.39 earned run average. Really no sample size against the Giants in his career, but he's pitched well at home, 3.23 ERA, 3-2 overall. San Francisco's offense is they're just not that explosive as we've seen this season. So if Suarez can be decent here, if they can hang around early, just force Snell's pitch count up, knock him out of the game by the 5th, 6th inning, I think as this game goes on, it'll favor Baltimore, and we're getting them at a dog price. So I like that. I know you got the Yankees hat on there, Alpha, and they've started to separate a little bit, right, in the AL East as much as we've probably seen all season, right? They're up to 3 games now. I feel like all season it's been kind of flip-flopping every day. But it's a huge series for Baltimore if they want to keep their hopes alive there of winning the AL East. They're going to be a playoff team regardless, but they got to really lock in here and win some games against lesser competition. So I like the Orioles here at plus money.
I like the Orioles too. One stat that did make me a little hesitant is looking how Blake Snell has done in his last 9 starts. The Giants have won 8 of the last games, including 5 of the last 5 that he started. So when he's gone out there, even if he has not gotten the win, the team overall has gotten the win. But as you said perfectly, they were just basically knocked out of playoff contention. Is that going to affect the rest of the team? What's the mentality of the team? And this Orioles team needs to win. You said it perfectly. The Yankees have started to build this lead in the AL East, which, as you said, it's been about a teeter-totter seesaw back and forth all season long, and now it's up to a 3-game lead for the Yankees, so they are going to need to get some wins. I am backing the Orioles here. With all that being said, how Snell's being good, I think the Orioles need this game. They want it more. They're in playoff contention. They will be in the playoffs, but they're trying to get a bye in the first round. I do think they are going to give it their all tonight. They are going to show up and play well. So give me the Orioles on the money line at the dog price. Currently, you can get that at a -105. JD, what do you like in this game?
Yeah, just actually like I guess y'all said, they're actually both playing bad currently. The Giants, they've actually lost their past 4. The O's are actually 3-7. Their actually last 10 games. But But actually, just like you said, the Giants have actually won the last 5 starts. And I have this game priced way up. I have the Giants at price actually minus 155 here.
Really?
So I thought that was weird. And actually, when I'm off, usually that like much, I actually usually just actually throw that game out. But actually, after talking to somebody else, they have the game priced pretty actually much the same exact way. So that kind of made me feel good about it. So I'm actually going to go the other way here, and I'm going to play the Giants. I'm going to get them right now at minus 115.
All right, so tomorrow I'll be back on the show, either defending myself and Matt, or we're going to let JD have the winner there. Guys, quickly over to the Twitter comments before we move on to the next game. David is here, and David, we feel your pain. God, you hate football days off and going back to MLB. I enjoy MLB. We do well in MLB. This show was built on MLB. However, football's king. We all love football. We all would rather watch football, I think, 7 days a week compared to baseball. But it is one of those days, and we still do have action to give to people. David also agrees with you. He has it at a minus 145. So, David, we expect you here tomorrow if you win that to give us some crap for winning that game. Let's keep it moving, boys. Second game on the slate we're going to be diving into is going to be the Atlanta Braves, who are taking on the Cincinnati Reds. Pitching for the Braves is Grant Holmes. Grant is 2-1 on the year with a 3.79 ERA. On the other side is Brandon Williamson. He's 0-0 with a 2.08 ERA. Not an exciting pitching matchup here, but JD, you're our local Braves guy. What do you like in this game?
Yeah, the Braves. I actually bet on them. I think I won actually game last week, and I said, this is like a hitter, just actually like a hitter actually missed team, and I finally backed them, which I feel like I haven't done in like months now. And of course, they totally missed. They actually put up no runs. This team, I just don't understand them. To me, the Reds are also an extra team that I just don't trust. I think the side is actually priced really well here. I do have this at 9.9 runs. So seeing the total at 9, I do like the actual over. But once again, these are two teams I really don't trust. So I am actually going to stay away.
Yeah, one quick thing that is a little odd that stuck out to me about this. When you look at how the Reds have done against the Braves this year, they have yet to lose. The Reds have won every single game they've played. This will be the 4th game tonight. So the Reds have had the Braves number, and I feel like we've said that a lot on this show. A lot of weird lower level teams have been beating up on the Braves, all year long. They just haven't been the same Braves team. But going into this matchup, I do think this is going to be a Braves play. The Braves are also one of the teams that are still in it. They're clearly still fighting for everything, and they need this win. And the minus 135 to me is the right price. Everything does make sense. It's not going to be a best bet, but if I were to take something on this game, it would be the Braves money line. I'm still undecided if I'm officially going to play this when we get closer to first pitch, but as of now, I definitely have a strong lean on the Braves. Matt, got anything on this game?
Yeah, I would go the same way. I like Atlanta tonight. They opened actually at minus 120, I believe. Now it's up to minus 140, 145. So obviously the line has moved heavily in their favor. Not a great pitching matchup to your point. Two guys who haven't been great this year. Williamson hasn't pitched as often as Holmes this year. But I do think that we're going to see Atlanta win this one. They need these games, right? They're still in the playoff hunt. Fading teams right now that really don't have a lot to play for over the next 13 days might be a formula to win. And this is a game the Braves should win, right? They're a better team. And you kind of mentioned it, Alpha. They've struggled against these inferior teams this year. It's kind of the reason why they're outside looking in right now in the playoffs. But they're coming off a tough series against the Dodgers. The last 2 games, they've been outscored 18-2. I expect them to bounce back a little bit tonight and find a way to scrap up a win and keep this race between the Mets and the Braves interesting as we wind down the season.
You made a great point there. This is a spot where it's a team that's fighting for the playoffs versus a team that's essentially out. Is that something you like to target in the last couple weeks of the year? Because it's definitely something I do. We talked about that in the Giants-Orioles earlier. I think it's super important to understand what's going on in the league when making these bets. Is that something you look into?
100%. Yeah. I think you got to do that. And the thing is, at the end of the day, it's still baseball, and these teams still can play spoiler and go out and win anything. But I do give the advantage, at least you would think, the mentality of the team who's playing for something versus the team who's got their vacations planned. It should be a little bit better.
I see it the exact same way you do. And JD, I know you do that as well. We talk about that frequently, so I don't even need to go to you on that. Let's keep it moving right along, boys, to what I think is one of the more interesting games on the slate. We have Dead's Philadelphia Phillies with Zach Wheeler on the bump. They're going to Milwaukee and taking on Frankie Montas. Wheeler is doing Wheeler things. He's 15-6 on the year with a 2.6 ERA. On the other side, Frankie Montas is 7-10 with a 4.5 ERA. Early in the year, Frankie Montas was looking to be a very strong pitcher. He seemed to regress more and more as the season has gone on. JD, let's start with you. What do you think about this Phillies-Brewers game?
Yeah, man, this is another weird line to me. I have this priced way off, and to have two games on the same card priced this far off, and it being this late in the year is very weird. I have this price at the Phillies at actually minus 185. So I have to go to Matt here and ask, what is going on here? I don't understand this line.
Yeah, it is. I like the Phillies tonight too, and I was on Milwaukee last night. I actually did the double Philly fade because I was also on the Falcon spread, so it was a weird night for me, kind of rooting against my teams. But, I don't know. I mean, Wheeler on the mound, he's been great all season. I am surprised by this line as well. Montas on the mound for the Brewers, who's been okay. But Wheeler has good numbers against Milwaukee. They're hitting 200 over 80 at-bats in his career. Really, the only guy who sees him well is Willie Adames, who's at 308 in 13 at-bats. But outside of that, he's dominated this lineup. So I'm with you. I think Philly's being a little bit underpriced here. Maybe because of I don't think it has much to do with last night's performance, but I'm seeing at minus 135 right now. But I believe it did open, at least what I'm seeing, it opened at minus 150. So it is interesting kind of where this line is gone. But yeah, I see Philly bouncing back. This is a huge series too for the overall seeding, right, in the NL.
Absolutely.
I believe Milwaukee is 3 games behind Philadelphia. So if Philly can hold them off here and win tonight, they should be in good shape. But I mean, if Milwaukee sweeps the series, they're a game back, right, with 10 games left. So, I'm with you. I think it's a Philly play tonight for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely a stinky line yesterday, and we on our show yesterday, we did speak about that. We did say the Brewers line felt like a trap. It just did. It looked like it was too easy for the Phillies, and it did come true. All of us on the show yesterday did avoid the Phillies, so good to see you run the Brewers as well. For me, I see it the exact same way you guys do. Like Dead said, this line did open at a minus 150, but this is a must-win game for the Phillies. As weird as that is, with 2 weeks left, essentially 10 to 13 games left for every team, this is a massive game for them. You put it perfectly. They cannot get swept in this series. They need to stay ahead of the Brewers for the first seed. So I do think they will get it done. They have the right pitcher on the bump today to get it done. I'm a big backer of Zach Wheeler, and I do think they get it done, like I said. So give me the Phillies on the money line at a minus 135. JD, what you got?
In the
Phillies Brewers
game, I actually am going to take them, because I had this line so far off. And I don't see any reason why not to actually take them here. Love
that.
Yeah.
We have a whole family play on that, so we're all going to be very happy when this game ends or all be a little angry. We will find out quickly before we do go to the next game. We do have 1,200 live viewers in here. We appreciate every single one of you. JD, we have a question from you from Diamond Dog. You have a Braves helmet. You think they're making the playoffs?
It's going to be tough. But I would like to say yes.
The fan in him is saying yes, but it's truly a toss-up right now. We really don't know. They really are in the thick of it. They're on the outside looking in, so they have to start winning some games, and that's why I think tonight's Braves game is such a big deal. We went over that earlier, so if you did miss it, you can rewind and go watch that. But yes, absolutely. Let's keep it moving. Oh, we got one more. We have a YouTube comment from Edgar Santiago. We appreciate the YouTube guys getting in here. Do we think the Phillies will win the series? Dead, that's a question for you.
I think they should. They have their 2 best arms. They have Wheeler and Nola going. But tonight's game obviously is huge for that. I do think they'll win the series. I think last night was the tough spot for them coming off a strong series opening game where, we talked about that line being a bit trappy there for Philly last night. So, yes, I would say the Phillies come back and win this series.
I would say the same exact thing. JD, what do you think?
Yeah. I actually love them. here.
Yeah. Big spot for them. All the boys like the Phillies. We do anticipate them to win the series. And I've said this for a couple weeks now, maybe even a couple months. The Phillies are my favorite to win the World Series. I think they are the most complete team in MLB. I hate to say that with Dead here, but it is the truth. I love the Phillies this year. And that leads us, unfortunately, to the New York Yankee game. The Yankees are taking on the Seattle Mariners tonight. The Yanks have Luis Gil on the bump. Gil's 13-6 with 3.1 ERA. But on the other side, we have Brian Wu, who's been unbelievable this year. He's 8-2 with a 2.3 ERA. Dead, any action from you in the late night Yankees-Mariners game?
I hate to fade your Yankees here, Alpha, but I'm going to go Mariners first five, so they could still win the game. But you were talking about Brian Wu, how good he's been this year. But at home this year, guys, he's 5-0 with a 1.66. So there's been pretty much no one in baseball that's been better at home this season. Small sample size, only 18 at-bats against, but he has good numbers against. New York, 143 batting average against in that sample size. I don't really like Seattle as a team. I've faded them a lot this year. I've been on a lot of Seattle unders and nerfies, and I've had a lot of success with this. But it feels like right now they've kind of hit a stride where they're actually playing really good baseball, and they've been able to tighten things up a bit in the AL East. In the AL West again, as they've cut the lead down to 4 games. Remember, they have 3 against Houston, so if they can just hang around and keep it at 3 to 4 games, they at least give themselves a chance, right? It's a slim chance. I don't think they're going to win the division, but they do have a 3-game series against the Astros. So this makes this a huge series for Seattle. It's also obviously a huge series for New York, who's looking to kind of, lock things up there in the AL East. But I think this is a tough series, honestly, for the Yankees, because if you look at the arms they're going to have to go against here, we know Seattle is obviously known for their starting pitching, but they have Bryce Miller on the mound tomorrow, and then following that up, they're going to get I thought it was Gilbert. They get Hancock in that last game. So maybe the Yankees still win the series, but tonight I do like the Mariners there on the first 5. And I do think this is going to be a great series.
The question to me in this series, are the Mariners' bats going to come alive? We all know the weakness of this team is that they really struggle to produce runs. They're one of the worst teams at scoring runs in MLB. That leads me to tonight's game, and I'm going to do something that I never do. And if you watch the show every day, you'll probably be surprised. I'm looking at a total. You guys know when the line is at a 6.5 to a 7.58, I usually go over. I almost always go over. It's an under spot in this game. It just is. Dead put it perfectly about how good Wu has been at home. The Yankees, I do think, will struggle off of Wu, and I don't think that the Mariners are going to score too many runs off of Luis Gil. It's just, to me, going to be a very low-scoring game, maybe 3-2 game, maybe a 4-3 game, but either way, the line's currently set at a 7.5, and we are definitely taking, a flat 7, and we are taking the under here. It's very juiced on the over. The over is a minus 125, and the under is at a plus 105. It's exactly what we're taking. Under 7, plus 105. JD? We always take Yankees overs in this show because they're the 3rd best over team in baseball. Do you agree with me that we're going under here? What do you think?
I definitely lean under here. But for me on the side, this is a tricky one. Because just like I've said on past shows, Yankees in their series, game 1, they have been winning game 1s. They have not lost a game 1 of a series in actually over a month now. That's a trend that I've been playing on. Now to the other side, we're actually going up against Brian Wu here, and actually at home, I just can't bet against him here.
Yep.
As far as the model price goes, kind of I wouldn't say shocked, but I'm close to shocked. I actually have the Mariners favored here. I have them as an actual small favorite here at minus 123. So as far as the Mariners, there's what the numbers show. I definitely like them first 5 more. So actually, Matt, yeah, I actually definitely like that play. I haven't actually bet this game yet, so I'm not quite there. But I really like that Mariners first actually 5 there.
It's interesting, too, because you guys know I like to bring up the BPI, ESPN analytics all the time just because you like to see what they think of the game. And they have the Mariners as a 55% favorite here, too. So the line is not reflective of what all the systems and all the different prediction methods are seeming to say. So you guys may be right here. It does seem like it is a strong Mariners play by all the numbers here. But my favorite play yet again is the under. So hopefully we'll see a low-scoring game. And at least in the first 5, the Mariners can get it done. Let's keep it moving, boys. Right along to our final breakdown of the day. We have the Astros taking on the Padres. Pitching for the Astros, Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown is coming in 11-8 with a 3.59 ERA. On the other side, former Yankee starting for the Padres, who I know JD is a big fan of. We have Michael King. He's 12-9 with a 3.06 ERA. He was the focal point that was traded for Juan Soto. Seems like it may have been a good deal for them after all. If Soto leaves the Yankees and Michael King stays there and becomes the ace of that team for the next, 10 years, who really won that trade? JD, we'll start with you because I do know that you do like to back Michael King sometimes. What do you like?
Yeah, man. I am actually definitely like a Michael King guy. I've actually been backing him for like a while now. But as far as actually Hunter Brown, I've kind of actually been a Brown guy too.
Right.
I will say that his last start was not that good. I believe it was the A's. I believe they actually smacked him up actually pretty good. And just overall, this should be a really good game. But when it comes down to everything for me, the Padres, they are just in this particular game, the way the bullpens are, and really everything, they have the slight edge everywhere. It's actually not a big edge, but I mean slight edge. But since they have that edge everywhere, it looks like you can get the Padres at actually minus 110. So I believe I'm actually going to play that.
Yeah, I'm playing the exact same with play you are. I'm all over the Padres here. I do like to back Michael King, and they are home. You said it perfectly. I do think they're the better complete team. They have the full bullpen. They have a better bullpen. And in this pitching matchup, it is somewhat even. I would slightly lean to the Padres. When you go over to the lineup at home, give me the Padres there as well. So I'm taking the Padres minus 110 in the final breakdown of the day. Dead, what you got?
We're going to be opposite guys on this one. I do like Houston tonight after that game last night. But Hunter Brown has had an interesting season, right? It's been a roller coaster for him. In April, his ERA was about 12, which is insane because if you look at the summer months, a 1.16 ERA in June, 3.53 in July, and a 1.45 in August. So he's been great. He's actually 10-2 since July, or I'm sorry, 10-3 because he picked up a loss in September. But he's been outstanding, really, with the exception of April. And this was a guy who was a highly touted prospect, right? He's only 26 years old. So I agree. Michael King's had a great season as well. I do see this one as being a close game. I just lean to Houston in this spot tonight, but I think it could be a very close one most of the way. But I'm gonna ride with the Astros here at plus money.
All right. Well, you guys got all the breakdowns of the day. Before we go into our outlier, me and JD's collab prop of the day for that, quickly over to the comments. We have Logan here from our YouTube channel. Logan saying, up, what's up, guys? First time listening and didn't know Dead Prez is here. Dead Prez is our special guest today. He is a good friend of the show, and we do appreciate you tuning in, Logan. Aiden is here asking if there's any dark horse that can cause some damage come playoff time. Take the Yankees, bro. I'm just kidding. Do you guys have any dark horse teams?
I'd say Kansas City is one team that I think could go on a run. Obviously, the loss of Vinny Pasquantino hurts them a lot, and I don't think he'll be back for the early series. Maybe he does get back, but I like Kansas City to go on a run. I don't know if we would consider them in dark horse, but I think San Diego has a ton of value as well. If we look since the All-Star break, them and Arizona have been outstanding. They're still in contention, right, even in the NL West, which is crazy because of how good the Dodgers have been this season. But they're only 3.5 games back. Could get interesting there, but I think San Diego is another team that holds a ton of value here as we get towards the back end of the season. Good pitching, obviously, a really good lineup with Tatis back in it. But there are a couple teams I think that could be a Diamondbacks kind of team, right, like from last year.
Absolutely. JD, any picks from you besides the Braves?
No. No, actually, Matt actually said that great. Those are actually my two teams.
There we go. And boys, we have another comment from David. David, big contributor to the comments today, bro. We appreciate you. He's taking Yankees, Seattle, parlay, NRF. Okay, so never mind. I was like, you can't parlay Yankees and Seattle. You're parlaying the NRFI in the Yankees-Seattle game, plus a Soto hit, plus over 5.5 runs. You get that at plus 278. I like that. That ain't bad at all. Good play that you found there.
Yeah, that takes work too. That's good little parlay there.
Absolutely.
Comments. He's a good friend.
We like David.
Yep.
All right, boys. Quickly, we do want to touch up about our outlier play of the day. And guys, I kind of went over this already. We are taking the under 7 in the Mariners versus the Yankee game. This one has hit quite frequently for both teams. JD, can you scroll down just a little bit for me? There we go. 75 or 25% of the Yankees games recently have gone over, 75% have gone under. So we are seeing a ton of games that are going under, and we have seen in their most recent games 3-0, 4-0, 2-3, 5-2, 2-4, 2-5. That means in their last 6 games, they've all gone at this total or lower. So we are expecting a low-scoring game. Guys, if you are not already on Outlier, make sure you check them out. Not only do they find great prop plays, they find great totals. They find great sides. They give you great analytics on why you make these plays. So make sure you guys are tuned in with Outlier and get in on these because we've been cashing a ton of Outlier plays. Today's we're going to cash is going to be the under 7 in the Yankees-Mariners. All right, boys, it's about that time. We have almost 2,000 people in here right now. They are here to see one thing, and that's going to be our best bets. You guys ready to break it down?
Let's do it, sir.
Let's get it. MLB best bets. Dead, special guest. What do you got? Do you have 1 for us? Do you have 2 for us? Do you have 3? What do you got?
I'll give you guys I think we all like this one, so nothing too crazy, but I'll say the Phillies would be my top one. Also, the Phillies first 5. That'll obviously be a little more juicy, but with Wheeler on the mound tonight, I think he holds a big advantage over Montas, and I do like the Phillies to bounce back. Again, it's kind of that playoff mentality kind of series for them because they want to win this game. They want to kind of lock up everything in the NL East, but more importantly, they're looking for seeding here, and the Brewers are right on their heels. And also, we know Los Angeles is right there as well. So the 1 seed will be big. Playing in Philly all fall it's significant for this team, so I expect them to lock in and find a way to get a win tonight.
All right, I do as well. JD, what do you got for the people? I got 3 today, so I'll let you go and I'll close this out.
All right. I'm going to go with 2 today. Same as Matt here. Give me the Phillies. This line to me just feels way off. I can get them on the money line right now at minus 127. So just absolutely love that. Then let's go to that last game that we did. Give me the Padres. Give me them on the money line. I can get them at minus 112.
Love it. And guys, you know how hot JD's been over the last month or two. Make sure you guys are tuned into him. My 3 best bets are as followed. I'm with the boys on the Phillies, minus 135. Second best bet, I'm taking the under 7 in the Yankees-Mariners. And I'll give you 1 more. Third and final best bet is going to be the Baltimore Orioles on the money line at a minus 105. We went over all these games, guys. So if you do want to check them out, you can rewind, check everything out. We do want to say before we get out of here, thank you so much to Matt from Dead Prez Picks for coming on. I know nobody has to hear this because they already follow you, but if you're one of the weird people that don't follow Matt, check him out on Twitter. One of the best out there, consistently giving picks and consistently winning. Dead, we appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, boys. Yeah, can't wait to get on next time.
Absolutely. Let's go Giants. I know you were happy with that Eagles loss, and we'll be back tomorrow. Yet again, we appreciate everyone for tuning in. JD, say goodbye to the people.
Later, guys.